Welcome to Republican Talks, everybody. I'm your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today I'm talking to you about the incident that happened about a month ago. John Barnett, he is a worker at Boeing Company, the airplane company, and he reported multiple safety concerns. Barnett has been working there for about 30 years, and in recent years, he's been a whistleblower, and he's been providing different claims and pieces of evidence that show that Boeing's avoiding different safety concerns, and they're going to have a court case this June. However, last month, March 9th, John Barnett was found dead in his car, allegedly with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think happened and what I think. So first, let's do a little more backstory. So in 2019, he reported to BBC that there were problems with the oxygen tanks or oxygen masks in the airplanes, and that the under-supervised workers, these workers were they did whatever they wanted, basically. They weren't taking proper safety precautions, and they were using what he said is substandard parts for airplanes. And this actually, in the same year, caused a death, or caused a few deaths. There was 2 airplane crashes that both had to do with the door swinging open, and people fell to their deaths, which is just super terrible. Recently, he committed suicide for whatever reason. Don't know. So we're gonna get into that now. So first thing I want to debunk before we get into the statistics of this. He said to some of his family members that he wouldn't kill himself, but he also suffered from PTSD. So it's kind of hard to go off of his claim that he said that he would never kill himself, because I'm assuming that most people would say that. But if you're suffering with PTSD, that's a hard thing to go through. So I imagine that I still feel like that overshadows it. I'm not sure if he necessarily suffers with PTSD. I just read that he did. He may not have. I just heard that that's what his family said. Anyways, moving on. So the statistics on this. I looked up whistleblower suicide statistics because it seems like a lot of whistleblowers commit suicide. So I wanted to look it up. And I read 3 whole different studies, which is probably not as much research as I should have done for this video, but it's what I did. Now I want to make something very clear. I know no statistic or a pool of people who are still alive will have successfully committed suicide, because that's illogical. In the 3 studies that I read, out of all the people in my study that I conducted, out of everybody, only 21% of the people had suicidal thoughts. They've thought about committing suicide, which that's still a lot, but it's a lot less than I thought originally. And out of the 3 studies I read, only two of them didn't have any suicide attempts. The one I read had 3 suicide attempts. One person attempted it twice, and the other person only attempted it once. But I did want to bring up these statistics that 21% of whistleblowers have thought about suicide. So it's a lot higher than I thought. Now, the other thing you got to understand, a lot of whistleblowers are victims to retaliation and harassment, and they're treated like complete and utter crap, basically, when they do that. As it makes sense, because company's probably very mad, and there's no government law, to my knowledge, that punishes companies for doing that, which is disgusting. In my opinion, if a whistleblower came out and made an accusation against a company, and then that company started treating that employee like crap, I think that should be like 10 years in jail. Like, straight prison, 10 years, don't give a crap. Like, why is that a thing? Why is that allowed? Like, there's no law against it. They could literally do that. Like, that's insane to me. We have all these different gun laws that make it hard. I'm about to make a video about this new stupid gun law that's coming out. You'll see that video at some point. But it's ridiculous that there's no law protecting it. I feel like our government has stupid laws that they have laws that are so stupid that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But then they don't do laws like this. Really, you can abuse somebody, or you can retaliate against somebody who's a whistleblower, and there's no criminal law against that. That's insane. So finally, here are my thoughts on this whole situation. Did he kill himself or did he not? I read the police incident report, and after reading the police incident report, which I will link in the description below, or I'll probably just post it on the screen somewhere. Maybe at the end of the video I'll post it on the screen so you guys can read it. Here are my thoughts. John Barnett was in a hotel for 2 days. He extended his stay. He stayed on March 6th to March 8th, and he died March 9th. The thing I find really weird about this whole situation is that somebody called for a wellness check the day after he already had left the hotel. So someone knew that he was in the hotel. Number 2, which I think is super weird, is it was allegedly a suicide, right? So he used a firearm, self-inflicted gunshot wound, and after he died, the gun was still in his hand. The odds of that happening is only 25%, so 1 of 4. So it's in the grand scheme of things, I think it's pretty high. It's likely that it could happen. However, what's not likely is that his finger was still on the trigger afterwards. The odds of you committing suicide with a firearm and then having the gun not fall out of your hand and your finger still on the trigger is so small. It almost seems like it's framed. Like it's some sort of frame. The other thing is he died 11 minutes from his work, or 11 miles from his work. When he died, he was only 11 miles from where he worked. He hasn't been working there for a long time, but I could imagine that the company Boeing could have people looking out for him, so he's not spreading more information around. I think that'd be a thing that they'd want to do. And it's funny to me that the company Boeing released a statement saying how sad they were to hear about this guy's death, yet they were treating him like crap the entire time after the whole whistleblower incident. Just think about it. You're telling me that this company cares so much about this guy, and after they retaliated and treated him like crap for years after the whistleblowing incident? I don't think so. It's absolute bull crap. I don't believe it for 5 seconds. So anyways, that's my thoughts. Please feel free to give me your thoughts down below. Hope if you guys please be kind, subscribe for more, and stay tuned. You can read the cops incident report right now.